And here is the Transformers Generations War for Cybertron Trilogy Kingdom Battle Across Time Amazon exclusive Earth Mode Deluxe Class Mirage. My good buddy Fly Guy is probably going to appreciate that title. He's probably laughing out loud right now. Anyway, it looks great. I absolutely love this new version of Mirage. It's Earth Mode, the colors, aesthetic, absolutely amazing. And I'll do some comparisons with the Siege version later. And I love how this thing came out. I love the blue color. It's a lighter shade of blue. He still has the same weapons that he did in Siege. The missile launcher, as well as his sort of G1-esque blaster rifle. Here's a look at the details of the figure. Yeah, there's minimal kibble. There's a fake chest, obviously. The mold is based off of the Siege Mirage. They've remolded the chest. The wheels are still here. The actual wheels and front part of the car are actually behind the legs. The spoiler is much smaller. Head sculpt is still the same. And you see a lot of the white pieces, they're actually painted on. I was very surprised. Like our forearms are painted, the thighs are painted, chest is painted. And despite using a lot of white paint apps, the quality control on this figure, at least on the copy that I got, is spot on. They made a mistake on the Autobot logo, which I'll show off in alt mode, but doesn't matter. I'm so used to quality issues with Hasbro by now. But so far, this robot mode looks amazing. It harkens so much to the old G1 Mirage. The Siege version, speaking of which, is here. You can see the head sculpt has not changed. The only changes they made was the color of the plastic. You can see a darker color blue plastic here, a lighter shade of blue plastic here. I actually like this shade better than this one, and they didn't use any clear plastic on this one. This is all opaque, solid pieces. The spoiler is obviously smaller. We'll show that off in alt mode later on. The chest, very similar. The aesthetic is very similar still in design, but obviously retooled and remolded with the new Mirage. The only thing that this figure does better, because in my opinion, I think this is the superior, more accurate G1 Mirage, at least to the cartoons. The only thing that this figure does better is this. He's got 5mm shoulder peg holes, which this figure does not. And as such, oh my god, I just face palmed when I saw this figure. It does not have a shoulder port. The best way to do it is you mount it right here on behind his tricep, behind his arm, like at a tricep, and kind of sort of position it this way so he's got this shoulder cannon. But I don't know how they could have done it. The new engineering that they've done with this new Mirage is they sort of changed the whole torso's transformation. They've put a hinge on top here on the shoulders, which negates the possibility of having a shoulder port. But I think there was a workaround for that. They could have probably dremeled this thing with a shallow 5mm port. It doesn't have to be this deep. It could be like 1/3 the depth of this, so that you'll have a slight peg hole that you can actually mount this gun for. And I'm sure third-party companies right now are fast at work on how to improve that and give him a shoulder cannon. But it just sucks because the figure is absolutely incredible. It's better in almost everything, in all aspects, than this figure. Okay. Articulation for the figure, ball jointed neck, waist swivel, hinge elbows, forward and backward bicep swivel, hinge elbows. The shoulders can go in and out, forward and backward. Wrists can go in and out. Splits, thigh swivel, forward and backward, hinge knees, and foot articulation. Basically the same as Siege Mirage. Now we're going to transform him. To do so, it's very similar to the Siege Mirage's transformation, but there is a slight difference with the way the torso transforms, as I mentioned earlier. So to do the transformation, what you want to do is unpeg this part right here, the shoulders, don't do this. You gotta unpeg it right here. Fold down the spoilers right here. They're gonna be in that position. Fold down the hands, okay? Then what you wanna do is you wanna unpeg this. This is a new part right here. Go ahead and untab the upper torso, just like that. I think this is a better way of transforming this torso. The Siege version, I think, had a longer stem for the torso. Okay, fold out the wheels. Go ahead and fold the head like that. Go ahead and tab and secure that head piece, head sculpt, just like that. Okay, and then for the legs have the same engineering and transformation as Siege Mirage. It's just molded differently. On my copy of the figure, the way the wheels flip out is a little tight. I don't know why. Anyway, so fold this up like this, okay, and then what you want to do is you want to swing and rotate the thigh 90 degrees. Go ahead and fold out these pieces right here. It's a little tight. I don't know why. The pegs and tabs are just hitting pieces here and there. Go ahead and fold that there. Here's the Autobot logo that's misaligned. I'm going to talk about that later in alt mode. Okay, so what you want to do, same thing with Siege. I'm going to just fold up everything like this. Okay. All right. Fold the feet up like that. Okay. All right. And tab everything squarely. Okay. That's the front part of the car done. And all that's left are the arms. Go ahead and fold it this way and this way. And then they're going to swing out diagonally just like that. Position themselves like that. And then tab forearms together. Lock in the legs. And then finally you just need to tab in the spoilers. And there you go. Wait, let me just clean it up. Okay. And here is Earth Mode Mirage in his Formula One race car alt mode. He looks absolutely amazing. I think they do a better job with this Earth Mode Mirage than they did with Siege. Speaking of Siege Mirage, let me take nothing away from this figure. This figure was absolutely amazing. When it first came out, we didn't know we were going to get an Earth Mode Mirage. And for a while, this was my generation, well, my G1 Mirage, modern G1 Mirage on my shelf. But with this new one, I think this is the better Mirage, both in robot mode and in alt mode. This alt mode actually does a better job of hiding the faux chest or the faux front part of the car than this one. This one is like sticking at the back of the car. I mean, the spoiler is actually more proportional with this one. This one, I suppose, is Cybertronian, hence the way it looks with clear plastic and all that, the covered cockpit. But this is, I think, the more accurate version of Mirage to how he looked like on Earth. This is Earth mode vehicle. Neither one of them are actually super accurate because if you remember, back in G1, if you remember, Mirage actually looked like this. This is the G1 toy. Even the cartoon kind of looked like this. This is a more modern, possibly 80s or 90s Formula One race car. Mirage was actually based off of a 1976 Formula One race car. This was the Matra 12-cylinder V12 engine Formula One race car. And yeah, it's a far cry from how he looked like now. I actually like this version better. We did have the Henkei and Universe Mirage, which I don't have anymore right now. That one, I thought the transformation looked pretty close to G1, but the robot mode was too lanky and did not look very close to how Mirage looked like in robot mode. So this new, let me just talk about the new the aesthetics of the new Mirage. It still retains the 26, the number 26 of the car, and instead of, I guess, instead of Elf, because Elf is no longer in existence. It merged with Total Fina, and now they're called Total. It's Orc. So instead of Elf, they put Orc. Nothing to do with petroleum. It's just, I think, a funny play on words. And this new Earth mode Mirage does not have the sponsorship of it's a tobacco company called French tobacco company called Gitan. Gitan is a French tobacco company. I guess Hasbro did not want to be associated with that. So those are what's missing: the Gitan tobacco and the Elf Petroleum logos from this new Mirage. But the aesthetic, the colors, very, very close to his G1 aesthetic. And between the two, I would put my money here. If you've not picked up the Siege Mirage, don't pay scalper prices for it. Just wait for the Amazon 2-pack to be released together with Grimlock, and you can obviously just slap on the weapons, even in alt mode if you wish. Let me just do the Siege version so you can help it. Actually, I do like the colors of the weapons of the Siege version more. The gray here is less beige. There's a little bit of a hint of a beige hue with the new gray plastic. I love this new, it's kind of like there's a hint of silver with the gray, and I do like the contrast of black and gray, so I'll probably end up swapping those out, but I don't know, probably not. I just love the fact that the gray blends nicely in robot mode instead of the contrasting colors here. But in alt mode, definitely this is the clear winner. Again, as I said, take nothing away from this. This was an amazing, amazing figure. The only thing I am really torn about this new figure is that lack of a shoulder cannon. And that really pisses me off because the figure was superior over the Siege version in so many ways, in almost everything except for that shoulder cannon. It's missing a shoulder port for the shoulder cannon, and that kind of has to bring this down to a 9 out of 10. It sucks, but I'm in a bit of a conundrum here. I don't know whether I should. I was already thinking of letting this one go, but given the fact that he probably holds the shoulder cannon better in robot mode, what's probably going to happen, and I foresee this for many collectors, is they're going to keep this one in robot mode and they're going to keep this one in alt mode on the shelf for Mirage, which is, to me, is inefficient, and it kind of sucks that we have to put up with that. But it is what it is. And let me know in the comments, are you guys satisfied with this new Mirage? Hit me up in the comments and let me know if you're one to purchase this 2-pack with Grimlock, or is it a pass for you because you're okay with the Siege version? Hit me up in the comments, and as always, hit that notification bell so you never miss out on any of my latest video reviews. If it's your first time here, please subscribe. Thanks for watching.